In the heart of an old forest, a twig snaps. A bird cries out. Is it just the wind, or is it something else? Something ancient, something watching? Since the dawn of time, humans have told stories about creatures that lurk in the shadows. These myths, whispered around fires and carved into stone, tell of magnificent beasts and terrifying monsters. These stories were more than just entertainment. They explained the world. They gave reasons for storms, for disease, for the changing seasons. The roar of a dragon was the anger of the gods. The whisper of a mermaid, a warning from the sea. These tales, passed down through generations, are powerful. They connect us to our ancestors, to their fears and hopes. They remind us that we are not alone in the universe, or are we? No creature of myth is as powerful, as awe-inspiring as the dragon. In the West, dragons are often seen as monsters. Fire-breathing, treasure-hoarding, a danger to knights and princesses. Think of Smaug, the terrible dragon from The Hobbit guarding his mountain of gold. But in the East, dragons are different. Chinese dragons, for example, are benevolent beings. They are wise, powerful, and bring good fortune. They control the rain, rivers, and oceans. They are symbols of power and good luck. Two very different creatures, both called dragons. Why? Because they represent the power of nature itself. The Western dragon, the raw, destructive force of a volcano. The Eastern dragon, the life-giving power of water and storm. Step into the forest. The air is cool, damp. Sunlight filters through the leaves. Can you hear the whisper of the wind, the rustle of leaves? Perhaps it is a dryad, a tree spirit watching over her domain, or maybe a mischievous pixie playing tricks on unsuspecting travelers. Now dive into the ocean. Sunlight fades, replaced by a cool blue twilight. Fish dart through coral reefs, but beware the depths. There, legends say, live mermaids, beautiful creatures, half human, half fish. But are they sirens, luring sailors to their doom? Or are they guardians of the sea, protecting its secrets? These creatures of forest and sea represent our fascination with the unknown. They remind us that there are still mysteries in the world, places untouched by human hands. Myths and legends are not just things of the past. They live on in books, movies, video games. We see werewolves stalk the night in horror films. We read about vampires in Gothic romances. We play games set in worlds populated by elves and dwarves. Why do these stories endure? Well, because they speak to something deep within us. They give shape to our fears, our desires, our dreams. They remind us of the power of story itself. The world is a less magical place than it once was. Science has explained many of the mysteries that our ancestors attributed to gods and monsters. But still, we tell these stories. We pass them down. Why? Because they remind us of the wonder that still exists in the world. They remind us to look for magic in the everyday, in the way sunlight filters through leaves, in the crash of waves on the shore, in the whisper of the wind through the trees. Perhaps if we listen closely enough, we might just hear it. The whisper of the ancients. The myths and legends of old are not just stories. They are echoes of our past, reflections of our hopes and fears, and they continue to shape our world even today.